bhavato janma paraṁ janma vivasvataḥ katham etad vijānīyāṁ tvam ādau proktavān iti. Arjuna uvāca aparaṁ bhavato janma paraṁ janma vivasvataḥ katham etad vijānīyāṁ tvam ādau proktavān iti. Arjuna uvāca aparaṁ bhavato janma paraṁ janma vivasvataḥ katham etad vijānīyāṁ tvam ādau proktavān iti. Arjuna uvāca.
This is the misgiving of ordinary human being to misunderstand Krishna. Generally, Krishna is understood as a historical person. Therefore, suppose if Krishna was born as contemporary of Arjuna, because there are two wisdom. The modern scholars also, so-called scholars, they also think that Krishna is a person like us. That is spoken in the Bhagavad-gītā that avajananti māgamūಢā manusim tanva. Because Krishna appears like ordinary human being, not ordinary. His activities are not ordinary. Still, some foolish, mūಢā. The exact meaning of the mūఢā means foolish or rascals. They think Krishna as ordinary. To accept a human being as God and to accept God as human being, both things are foolishness. God is God, human being is human. That is different. A human being cannot become God, and God cannot become human. So Krishna is not that God, which are very cheap nowadays, so-called God. It's not that. It's like nowadays my mystic power. By worshipping some demigod, one becomes God. These are ludicrous. You know that a person is going on, is being worshipped as God in a great big mission. And how he become God? By worshipping goddess Kali. This is going. Krishna says in the Bhagavad-gītā that kāmastasya stitogyan jajanti annadevati. There is no need of worshipping any demigod. We offer our respect, all respect, to demigods. It's not that we Vaishnava, we do not offer respect to Goddess Kali or Lord Shiva. It's not that. We offer proper respect. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has taught us that Abhani na manade. A Vaishnava gives honor even to the lowest creature, because he sees everyone in relationship with God. So, the pure Vaishnava offer respect to everyone. Why not to the demigods? But they do not equalize the demigods with God. They are not such fools. They cannot say that Krishna or Lord Shiva or Goddess Kali or Lord Brahma, they are all the same. They do not commit this mistake. They know by following the footsteps of acharyas, just like in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, they often say, Ekala Ishwar Krishna Arasam Prito. Only Master is Krishna. And all others, even including Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, Indra, Chandra, very, very big demigods, they are also servants. Even in one sense, when Krishna requires personal service, his incarnation, Shesha, he serves Krishna. Sheshana is expansion of Sankarsha. So Krishna accepts service by his own expansion. He enjoys pleasure by expanding his pleasure potency, Srimati Radharani. Radha Krishna Pranaya Brigiti Alladini Shakti Tasma. Radharani is also Krishna, potency, expansion of Krishna, pleasure potency. So in this way, Krishna is the origin, person. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. That is the version of Vedic literature. Krishna is the original person. Ishvara Parama Krishna. Sachidananda Vigraha. Anadi Radi Govinda. Sarvakaranaka. Ishvara means controller. Every one of us are more or less controller. Yes, I am controlling my disciples. A family man is controlling his family. A big office manager is controlling his office. Managing director. Some big businessman like Birla and others, they are controlling the big factories. So, more or less every one of us is a controller, small and big. So in that sense, everyone is Ishvara. But Krishna is not that type of Ishvara. Ishvara Parama. That is it. It is not very difficult to understand what is God if you have got little sense. This is very nice explanation of God in the Brahma Samhita. Ishvara Parama Krishna. Ishvara we can understand, controller. That is not very difficult. But here, a controller is controlled by another controller. Suppose a gentleman is manager of Vrindavan Band. He is controller. But he is controlled by another person. It is very different. not difficult. Similarly, you go on researching, then here is a controller, but he is controlled by somebody else. And who controls him? Who controls him? If you have got research, there are many research scholars, now find out the supreme control. And that is Krishna. If you can find out the supreme controller, that is Krishna. Janmadasya jataha. Adi Purush. Adyam Purusham Shastratam Parabrahma Paramdhama Pavitram Paramam Tvam. After hearing from Krishna, Arjuna accepted that you are the supreme person for a Brahma, bigger than the Brahma. The Mayavadis, they are after Brahma, Brahma Sukhano Bhuttya. Itham satang Brahma Sukhano Bhuttya, Dasangatanang Paradaivikena, Maya Sitarang Nardarakena, Sadhang Vijaru, Kritapunna Punya. Swami is giving his comment when Krishna was playing with the cowherd boy, that here is the person who is worshipped, who is not directly worshipped, who is worshipped by his Brahma Ifalya, Brahmanaham Pratishtha. Krishna's bodily effulgence is impersonal Brahma. Yasya prabha prabhavatu jagadannapur kochishu asesha vasudhadivu vivinna. The whole universe, innumerable universes, containing innumerable planets, they are simply floating on the bodily rays of Krishna. Just as we have got experience. The sun sign, there are innumerable millions and trillions of planets. They are floating in the sun sign. Everyone. Even the sun is floating. Everyone is floating. Weightlessness, modern scientific view. So, therefore, Krishna is the original person. The people, a man who does not know Krishna, he thinks he is a human. Therefore, let me imitate. I am also Krishna. I am also God. You may be God, but you are not that type of God as Krishna. That is not. You may be God, as I have explained. There are many gods. The God means controller. But real God, Swami Bhagavan, Krishna Stu Bhagavan Sam. So Arjuna knows everything. But because he was talking with Krishna as his friend, people may not misunderstand him. Therefore he is answering the question of the ordinary people. Aparaṁ bhavato janma, paraṁ janma. Krishna said that imam vivasvataḥ yugam proktavān aham aparaṁ. I spoke this Bhagavad Bhakti Yoga, Bhagavad-gītā, first to sun God. So at the present moment people are so foolish, they cannot understand even what is sun. So foolish. They have no importance. That in the sun there is a predominating deity or the president. Just like here in this planet we find presidents, not one president, hundreds of presidents. But actually time was there when on this planet there is only one president. Up to Maharaj Parikshit, one monarch. he was controlling the whole world. One flag. And nowadays, because people have advanced, so we see in New York almost every day on the First Avenue. Is that on the First Avenue? UNESCO.
First Avenue.
Yes. So there is the United Nations organization, and we pass through, we see hundreds of flags. Not one flag. Although they are trying to be United Nations, they are becoming more and more disunited. Then where is the strength of unity? They are missing the point. Unity can be made possible when we become Krishna conscious. Otherwise there is no question of unity. On the material platform, there cannot be unity. Therefore there is no peace. But the peace formula is explained by Krishna, that bhokāram jagatavasam sarvalokamayasam. Bhokāram jagatavasam sarvalokamayasam svedang sarvabhutānaṁ gyātā māṁ shantimicchati. If anyone understands perfectly well that Krishna is the supreme engineer, Krishna is the supreme proprietor, Krishna is the supreme controller. Bhokāram jagatavasam sarvalokamayasam. He is the proprietor of all universe. Not only one, but millions of universes. Spiritual world, material world. He is the supreme enjoyer and proprietor. And he is the supreme friend. Svedang sarvabhutana. We are searching after friends who can help me. We make friendship with another person, expecting some help and assistance from that friend. But if we accept Krishna as the supreme friend, supreme protector, then there will be peace. This is the peace. Therefore, one who has selected Krishna as the supreme friend is not disturbed by any dangerous thing. Narayana parasatvi na kudashana biddu. Sargava partu nanapuresho. Tullatadavi. Narayana para. Those who are devotees of Narayana, Krishna, they can face any danger. They do not invite danger. But this material world is such a place that you have to face with danger in every step. You cannot avoid. Padam jad vipadam. Padam, every step. So who can avoid this dangerous position in every state? Samasita ji padapallavam prabham mahat padam punna jasu mudani bhavam mudhi vatsa padam parama padam padam jad vipadam nati. This is the only safest. If you completely depend on Krishna, mahat padam punna jasu murari. Krishna's another name is Murari, because he killed of the name one Murari. So if we accept the lotus feet of Krishna as the boat for crossing over the ocean of missiles, then we are safe. Paraṁ. That is paraṁ. Everyone has to take shelter of Krishna. That is the success of life. So Krishna is so great. Nikola Ishwar Krishna Harshabhrita. Krishna also says in the Bhagavad Gita, Matta parataram nanya kinchijasti aham sarvasya prabhava matta sarvang prapadyate. These things are there. So, here Arjuna says, the aparaṁ bhavato. Arjuna is taking the part of a foolish man like us. He is as if he does not know Krishna. He knows Krishna perfectly. And Krishna also knows. Because Krishna has already said, bhaktosi. So if Arjuna is bhakta and Krishna is accepting me as my dear devotee, my friend, so it is not that Arjuna does not know, but because as Krishna has said that this philosophy I spoke to the sun god, foolish persons like me will not be. These are all stories. Krishna says, Abhijananti man mudha, because we are all mudhas. So it is our business to neglect Krishna. So, in order to clarify the position of Krishna, the talk between Arjuna and Krishna means to understand Krishna as he is. One inquiry by Arjuna and the answer by Krishna makes the whole thing clear. To understand the position of Krishna, so that we may be out of this ignorance that Krishna is ordinary person or ordinary human being. In this way, aparaṁ bhavato janma paraṁ janma vivasvān. So, next verse he says that bahuni te vaditani janmani tavacārjuna tani aham veda sarvani natu nattang vedya parantam. This is the difference between Krishna and ordinary human being. Krishna knows past, present, future, everything. In Srimad Bhagavatam, the supreme authority, supreme Brahma, is explained. Janmadasya jataha annaya itadatascha arthishu abhigya. He knows everything. Just like I am living in this room, if something is missing, it is so relaxed. So I can say, now the matches is there in the pot. I am abhigya. The contents of my room. Similarly, Krishna is the supreme creator of everything. He is annantarastham paramanuchayantarastham. He is conscious avijna of everything. Ishvara sarvabhutanam riddesya arjuna. He knows everything even within your heart. What you are thinking, what you are planning, it cannot be concealed to Krishna. This is our foolishness. That we are doing something, concealing. You can conceal my eyes, other friends' eyes, but you cannot conceal the eyes of Krishna. He is upadrascha anumanta. That is explained. Upadrascha is seeing always what it is. You cannot play tricks with Krishna. That is not possible. Ishara Sarvabhutana Viddesho. So, those who are anxious to become Krishna conscious, sincere devotee of Krishna, they should not try to play tricks. Krishna will know everything. No, Krishna is abhigna. Krishna is situated everywhere. He has no past, present, future. Tirkalagna. No, Krishna is questioning this simply to clarify Krishna's position. This is it. Read that purport. Nama devotee, that he believes Krishna. Sarvametam nitang mande. Jadvadarshiki. Arjuna said. It's like modern scholars, they cut some portion. This is not fact. This is some imagination. A devotee does not do that. Ardhapu put in there. Ardhapu put in there to accept some portion and reject other portion. This is not the business of the devotee. The devotee accepts each and every word of Krishna. That is it. Not that, not only Krishna or Krishna's devotee who is in the parampara system. The devotee means to accept everything in total, either spoken by Krishna or by his devotee. That is it. Sarvametam nitam. Arjuna said this. I accept whatever you are saying. Paraṁ Brahma, paraṁ Brahma, pavitra. But if you simply follow these footsteps of Arjuna, that is parampara. Why do you interpret Bhagavad-gītā otherwise? Krishna says, evam parampara praptam imam rajan srila. Parampara. So apart from other parampara, whatever Arjuna says, Arjuna talked directly with Krishna. He heard Krishna directly. So whatever Arjuna is admitting, you follow that footstep, then you are perfect. Arjuna says paraṁ or paramesha, paramatma. So, Ishvara, Atma, we are also Atma. There is no difference so big. But we are not Paramatma. Just like Krishna said, what is that? Sarvadeshu Dena. What is that in the 13th chapter? Open that verse. 13th chapter. You cannot forget it. No, no. The beginning. Khetrabha. Khetrabha. So Krishna says, Khetam vanchapi panavidhi sarva khetreshu bharata. Khetrabha. He is explaining. Khetra means this body. And Khetrabha, the proprietor, and one who knows of the body, is called Khetrabha. Just like there is some itching in my body, I know. So, but you do not. There is some itching in my body. It is known to me. Therefore, I am Khetrabha of this body. This body is Khetra. And because I know the pains and pleasure of this body, therefore, I am Khetrabha. So you are Khetrabha in your body. I am Khetrabha in my body. Another person is Kshetraga in his body. But Krishna says that Kshetragam chapi magavidhi sarva kshetresu. I am also Kshetraga. But what is the difference between you? You are also Kshetraga and I am also Kshetraga. Then what is the difference? The difference is sarva kshetresu bhara. I am Kshetraga in everybody. You are Kshetraga only in your body. The pains and pleasure of your body, you know. But others do not know. Similarly, in others' body, the pains and pleasure, he knows, but you do not know. This is the proof that we are all individual souls. And when Krishna says that Kshetragam chapi magavidhi, therefore he is super soul. Simple thing, but the rascal, they say there is no soul and super soul, there is only one super soul. They simply want to pose themselves as Krishna. How he can be Krishna? How he can be the Supreme God? He may be God, excepting he has got some power, controlling power. But he cannot become Supreme God. That is different person. The Mayavadi, they say that there is no such Supreme God. We are God. Now in Maya, we have forgotten that we are God. But when the Maya will be dissipated, then he shall be one. Now that oneness is not possible. Because even if you are thinking that you have become God, can you feel my pleasure and pain? You cannot. How can I accept that you is the Supreme God? You may be God of your body. Others may be God for their others' body. But you cannot expand yourself in all bodies. That is Supreme. Isha. That is Supreme. Ishara sarvabhutana viddesha. So, here is the difference between Krishna and ordinary human being. He is also individual. Krishna is also individual person. We are also individual person. Nitya nityana, chetana chetanana. But the difference is that Krishna is the supplier of necessities of all others. We cannot supply the necessities of everyone. It is very difficult even to maintain a family of few members. And how we can supply the necessities of the whole world, all living entities. So, if you study Bhagavad-gītā very nicely, so you will never be blocked by the so-called buddhas, avajananti mama buddha. You will never be blocked. You will understand Krishna, what he is. He is the Supreme Person. Matta parataro nanna tvanchki. Kinchidasti. Krishna says, there is no more superior person than me. Therefore he is Ishara Parama Krishna. Sachidananda Vidya. He is not impersonal. Vigraha. Vigraha. When Krishna says, Aham, Adihi Devana, I am person. The Devatas, the demigods, they are also person. Sam Adihi Devana. He is also person. How is it person? Paraṁ Brahma, paraṁ dhama, pavitram, paramam bhava. Purusham shasata, adyam. This is Purusham. The Supreme Lord cannot be Prakriti. Prakriti is Krishna's energy. Bhuminama nalobhaya. Vidnami Prakriti astadha. Jiva also. Jiva bhuta mahavaya. Aparaṁ itastu vittime Prakriti para. So Jiva is also Prakriti. How he can be Purush? Purush is India. Jiva is not India. That is Prakriti Purush, understand. So anywhere you go, Krishna is the Supreme Person. He is the enjoyer. He is the friend of everyone. And if we understand these things only, these three things, then you become liberated immediately. Janma katham tvam vijānīyāṁ. Bhaktādeham punarjanma naiti mami. Simply if you understand these three things, that Krishna is the supreme enjoyer, Krishna is the supreme proprietor, and Krishna is the supreme friend, so I must take shelter of Krishna, then I am in safe custody. Simply, if we know these three things, then then we become fit to go, to enter into the kingdom of Krishna. Tvam tattvato gyaktya etad anantaram. You can be allowed to enter into the Golok Vrindavan, where Krishna is situated. Golokayova nivasati akilatma puruto. It is not that because he is staying in Golok Vrindavan, therefore he is absent here. No. Akilatma is everywhere. Annāntarastham paraṁ. He is in the atom. This is understanding of Krishna. So we are preaching this Krishna consciousness on the basis of the Bhagavad Gita as it is, without misinterpreting to show our so-called scholarship. No, that is not the way of understanding Krishna. We should understand Krishna submissively as Arjuna is. Shishyasteham sadhimāṁ prapanna. Krishna also asked Arjuna to surrender fully. So he has already surrendered. When Arjuna saw that there are so many perplexities, and this cannot be solved except by Krishna. So he surrendered. Shishyasteham sadhimāṁ. In this way, if we surrender to Krishna through his representative, representative means one who says exactly what Krishna says. He does not change anything. Krishna says, Sarva dharmār parityajya māmekam saranam vraja, and his representative says that you give up everything, surrender to Krishna. The same thing. And there is no difficulty. One hasn't got to manufacture some idea, some philosophy. No. Everything is there. And if you preach what Krishna has said, then you are spiritual. It is not a very big job. Simply you have to become sincere to Krishna, and you learn Krishna through his representative. You become sincere with the representative of Krishna and Krishna. Jasadevi parabhakti yathadevi tatha guyo. Then you are. It is not very difficult. And become, every one of you become spiritual master and preach this gospel of Bhagavad Gita as it is, then world will see. Otherwise, they are already in trouble and they will go more and more into the depth of the troubled, dangerous position, and they will never become happy. So Krishna consciousness movement is very, very important movement for saving the human civilization, human society. Thank you very much. Chanting process is that you chant with your tongue, Hare Krishna, and hear. That's all. Then you say, Hare Krishna, which must be chanted by the use of tongue, and you hear it. That's all. Very difficult. Yeah. Everything may come, but this is the process. This is the process. Chant Hare Krishna and give. Nothing is difficult in Krishna consciousness. One has to execute it. Very serious and sincere. Then everything is done. Nothing is difficult. Not at all. Hare Nama, eva kevalam. Kalu nasti eva nasti. Chant Hare Krishna and give. Then everything will come. Krishna, by chanting purely, without any offense, this Hare Krishna mantra, then you will understand Krishna's form, Krishna's quality, Krishna's pastime, Krishna's intellect, everything. Vidyavadu jiva, sarvatma sapanam, paraṁ vijayati, Sri Krishna. This is the word. Chaitanya paraṁ vijayati, Sri Krishna. He simply by chanting, get all success. Yaha ite sarva siddhi hayyatam. Chaitanya. He will get all siddhis. Greatest siddhi is to understand Krishna as the Supreme Personality. That's all. If you simply admit this, that Krishna is just like Krishna said, Bhavanam janmanamante jnanavan man prapadyate. So why should you wait for Bhavanam janma? You accept Krishna. My Lord Krishna, you are the Supreme. So long I was forgotten. Now I accept you, I shall be. You are right. Of course, it is not very easy to do that. Therefore, there are shastras, sadhu, to take that habit. But the real thing is this: accept Krishna, the Supreme, absolute truth, and surrender to Him, your business is good. And stay in that truth. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given so bright and easy for the fallen soul of this Kali. They cannot do anything. So-called yoga, so-called austerity, it is not possible. Prayano alpa ayusha, hello vasmi. Manda samandamatayo vandu bhagya jivat. It is not possible to proceed according to the ways of sacrifices, yoga, or mental speculation, or yogic siddhis. Somebody can perform perfectly, and even one performs very perfectly. That is not way to understand Krishna. Krishna says personally, Bhaktivedanta vijānīyāṁ. That is the only way. There is no other. They say there are many ways, and any way you accept, that will lead you to the absolute truth, and that's not the fact. To understand the absolute truth, you have to accept the absolute path. That is Bhakti. And Krishna says, Bhaktivedanta vijānīyāṁ. If you want to understand Krishna superficially, that is another thing. But if you want to know Krishna as He is, then only this devotion is. Sevan mukhehi uvāca, Swami vaspuram. Krishna is revealed. He is so kind. If you simply sincerely engage in devotional service of Krishna, then you will see Krishna everywhere. Krishna is everywhere. So chant Hare Krishna mantra, purify your heart, which is full of dirty things. Sinnatang Sakata Krishna, Punnasavana Kirtana. Even if you do not understand anything, simply hear Hare Krishna and Krishna's katha, then you become Maya. In this way, as you become more and more pious, your path to understand Krishna is clear. And at the last moment, when you are completely pure from all contamination of sinful activities, you are engaged in this. Jesam antagatam papam jananam punya karma te danda maho nirmukta. One who is engaged in Krishna's service with firm faith and devotion, it means he has already freed himself from all kinds of reaction of sinful. This is the test. Without being free from all contamination of sinful activities, nobody can fix his faith on the Buddha. If one hesitates, that means he is still sinful. Navang duskritanam murha prapadante narad. Duskrita. Duskrita means sin. He cannot suddenly. Is that all right? Any other question? When we talk of Krishna, those who are advanced devotees, they go ahead. Advanced devotees, they do not like to hear about Krishna. So advanced. When we are talking of Krishna, somebody goes, why? He doesn't like to hear about Krishna. He has become so advanced. That is sahaja. That is sahaja. We have heard all these things. Now we have to hear about Krishna. He is embracing Radharani and kissing. These are ordinary. Krishna's talk is not ordinary. It is ordinary, only sahaja. One has taken everything very easy. They have understood everything. One who has understood Krishna, you will eager to hear more and more about Krishna. Here is Krishna, is talking. Krishna is being placed in the supermost position. Right. That is it. There is a false in Bhagavad. As soon as there is Krishna Bhagavad, one should be very much pleased. Taste. Ādau saddhya tato sadhu sangha tato bhajanatya anartha nivittisya tato nishtha tato ruchi. This taste is very further on. After anartha nivittisya, nishtha, then ruchi, taste. Then asakti, then bhava, then prema. These are the proktavān, not jump over immediately to Rasa without understanding. Then smoking will. Chaitanya Charitamrita सिद्धांत बोलिया चित्ते ना करो आलम या हिते कृष्ण लागे सुधीर मान सिद्धांत हमारा है स्वामी कृष्ण then one becomes firmly faithful. That's why we understand Krishna. One who does not understand Krishna They think Krishna is as good as I am. Ujaniti manula. I think that is understand. No? Is that all right about Krishna? Any question? That chant Hare.